what do you heat your house with?
It's natural gas.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, Decio's here also.
Okay,
All
I'll
right.
put
So
the
here we are. Yeah, add Decio to the list.
yep.
We are going to begin uh, Purgatorio, Canto 12 today. We read it in Italian and English completely through at the end of our last session last week. Today we're going to read it through entirely in English only. And then we're going to have Sheila is going to give us a John Ciardi synopsis of the canto. And then we will read it in small sections, stopping along the way to clarify what we're reading.
Did you just say we're going to read it all the way through first?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. So, that being said, we are ready to go. Let me do.
Okay. Canto 12, the first cornice. You were right, Duncan. The Proud. And this is an interesting subtitle. The Reign of Pride, the Angel of Humility. Makes sense to me that what the contrast between the pride and the humility.
Mhm.
Virgil instructs Dante to arise from where he had been walking bent beside Odorici and to move on. Dante follows obediently, and soon Virgil points out to him the reign of pride carved in 13 scenes into the stone beneath their feet. The scenes portray dreadful examples of the destruction that follows upon great pride. The poets pass on and find the angel of humility approaching to welcome them. The angel strikes Dante's forehead with his wings, and though Dante does not discover it till later, the first P instantly disappears without a trace, symbolizing the purification from the sin of pride. The poets pass on up a narrow ascent to the second cornice, but though the way is narrow, Dante finds it much easier than the first, since steps have been cut into it, and since he is lighter by the weight of the first P. As they climb, they hear the first beatitude, Beati Pauperis Spiritu, ring out behind them, sung by the angel of humility. The end.
The end. Okay. So we are ready to go. So let us begin our reading with Des.
Breast, like oxen going in a yoke, I, with that heavy laden soul, went on as long as the sweet pedagogue permitted. But when he said, "Leave him and onward pass, for here 'tis good that with the sail and oars as much as may be, each push on his bark. Upright, as walking wills it, I redressed my person, notwithstanding that my thoughts remained within me downcast and abashed. I had moved on and followed willingly the footsteps of my master, and we both already showed how light of foot we were. When unto me he said, cast down thine eyes. 'Twere well for thee to alleviate the way, to look upon the bed beneath thy feet. Next, please.
Okay. Well, before we, oh, that's right. We're going to move on. We're going to read the whole thing. As that some memory may exist of them, above the buried dead, their tombs in earth bear sculptured on them what they were before. Whence often there we weep for them afresh, from pricking of remembrance which alone to the compassionate doth set the spur. So saw I there, but of a better semblance in point of artifice, with figures covered, whate'er as pathway from the mount projects. I saw that one who was created noble more than all other creatures down from heaven, flaming with lightnings, fall upon one side. I saw Briareus smitten by the dart celestial, lying on the other side, heavy upon the earth by mortal frost. Next reader, please.
We saw Thymbraeus, Pallas saw, and Mars, still clad in armor, round about their father, gaze at the scattered members of the giants. I saw at foot of his great labor Nimrod, as if bewildered, looking at the people, who had been proud with him in Sennaar. O Niobe, with what afflicted eyes thee I beheld upon the pathway traced, between thy 7 and 7 children slain. O Saul, how fallen upon thy proper sword didst thou appear there lifeless in Gilboa, that felt thereafter neither rain nor dew. O Matarachne, so I thee beheld, e'en then half spider, sat upon the shreds of fabric wrought in evil hour for thee. O Rehoboam, no more seems to threaten thine image there, but full of consternation. A chariot bears it off when none pursues. Next, please.
Displayed moreover the adamantine pavement, how unto his own mother made Alcimeon costly appear the luckless ornament. Displayed how his own sons did throw themselves upon Sennacherib within the temple, and how he being dead they left him there. Displayed the ruin and the cruel carnage that Tomyris wrought when she to Cyrus said, Blood didst thou thirst for, and with blood I glut thee. Displayed how routed fled the Assyrians after that Holofernes had been slain, and likewise the remainder of that slaughter. I saw there Troy in ashes and in caverns. O Ilion, thee how abject and debased, displayed the image that is there discerned. Whoe'er of pencil master was or style, that could portray the shades and traits which there would cause each subtile genius to admire. Dead seemed the dead, the living seemed alive. Better than I saw not who saw the truth. All that I trod while bowed I went. Next reader, please.
Who's next?
Sheila.
Be Sheila.
Edie.
Okay. Oh, I was looking at the wrong list.
You forgot her name.
Line 70, Sheila.
70. Now swell with pride and cut your reckless swath with head held high, you sons of Eve, and never bow down to see the evil in your path. We had, I found, gone round more of the mount, and the sun had run more of its daily course than my bound soul had taken into account, when Virgil, ever watchful, ever leading, commanded, Lift your head. This is no time to be shut up in your own thoughts, unheeding. Look there and see an angel on his way to welcome us, and see the sixth handmaiden returns now from her service to the day, that he may gladly send us up the mountain Let reverence grace your gestures and your look. Remember, this day will not dawn again. Next.
I was so used to his insistent warnings against the loss of time concerning that his words to me could hardly be obscure. That handsome creature came toward us. His clothes were white, and in his aspect he seemed like the trembling star that rises in the morning. He opened wide his arms, then spread his wings. He said, "Approach, the steps are close at hand. From this point on, one can climb easily." This invitation's answered by so few, O humankind, born for the upward flight. Why are you driven back by winds so slight? He led us to a cleft within the rock, and then he struck my forehead with his wing. That done, he promised me safe journeying. As on the right, when one ascends the hill where over Rubiconte's bridge there stands the church that dominates the well-ruled city. Dave.
The steep grades eased by steps on the dexter hand, hewn out in times that kept inviolate the bushel stave and let the audit stand, so is the cliff, which drops precipitate here from the upper cornice, made less sheer, though either side the high rock walls are straight. As we turned thither, voices in our ear sang out Beate pauperes spiritu. No tongue could tell how sweet they were to hear. What different passes these from those we knew in hell? For there with hideous howls of pain, but here with singing we are ushered through. When by the sacred stair we now again were climbing, lighter far meseemed I trod than I had done upon the level plain. Wherefore, I said, Master, what heavy load has slipped from me, so that I walk with ease and scarcely feel fatigue upon the road? And he, when from thy forehead all the peas, which half effaced and dim remain there yet, are rubbed clean out, as one already is, then shall goodwill so overrule thy feet, that they will climb and not be merely strong and uncomplaining, but delight in it. Decio?
Then did I even as they do who are going with something on the head to them unknown, unless the songs of other make them doubt. Wherefore the hands to ascertain is helpful, and seeks and finds, and dots full the office, which cannot be accomplished by the sight. And with the fingers of the right hand spread, I found but 6 the letters that had carved upon my temples, he who bore the keys upon beholding which my leader smiling.
Perfect. We divided that up perfectly. Great. Okay, well, we got a lot of heavy research to do here.
There's a lot of classics in here.
Good thing we have a classicist aboard here.
And
That's
Old
all I
Testament and Hebrew scriptures.
Right, that too. Yeah.
Sylvia, at the start of what you read out earlier, did you say that there was 2 parts to this?
Sorry.
Sorry, that's to say I have Sheila. I should refer to Sheila.
Edie.
All right.
That was.
I think the last Canto we read, 11 was part of a two-part thing from, at least two-part from Canto 10. That almost,
Mhm.
they almost like blended together. I think at this point we're in a kind of a different thing, and I think this is more standalone.
Right.
Yeah, he has an awful lot of these references at the beginning, and there's almost none of it at the end. I'm just wondering if there were two parts to it.
Hmm.
Well, I would think, Des, in terms of this as opposed to the preceding canto, if you want to divide it into, we're not meeting any of the citizens here, but then this canto gets subdivided because you see the images on the ground, or
Path,
are they
on
on
the
the
path.
wall?
Mhm.
I can't remember. I guess we'll have to find that out. And then the part where he has one of the P's, Latin for sin. Is it pecado? Is it pecado, Cleveland John, for sin in Latin?
Peccato,
Uh,
yeah, peccato.
yeah, it's the verb.
Right. So he gets one. So the second part is he gets a P removed from his forehead.
Mhm.
Hope that
You
that's
know,
the best I can do, Des. Anyway.
yeah, Des's um, comment makes me think about how in Canto 11, the the penitents who aren't released yet are contemporaries or historical or figures in or close to Dante's time. And these are all historical. I guess enough time passed that they finally realized what their pride was about and realized that they needed to shed it, become humble. I
Well,
think that's where the dichotomy is.
Yeah, yeah. He goes into the mythical stuff, Greek mythical stuff, and then
Right,
Bible Bible people.
right.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Well, in the beginning here, though, that abreast like oxen going in a yoke, this is Dante and Odorisi are the oxen going in like oxen going in a yoke.
right,
And so in the very beginning of this canto, Odorisi is next to Dante, and Odorisi is a heavy laden soul.
right.
So things are a little ponderous until Virgil says, "Hey, let that guy go on. You got other things to do. You're done with him."
You know, Virgil's can be a little bit of a pain in the butt at times, can't he?
Wow.
Because he's always urging him on. You know,
Mr.
it's like what,
Little.
come on, Duncan. It's like when your parents would take you to the zoo and you're wanting to see the rhinoceroses and they're trying to get you to move on to the giraffes and you're going, no, it's the rhinos I want to see.
Yeah, and they say, "Well, we don't have all day, Dave. So
That's
come on,
exactly right.
that's
You
That's
know
enough of
what?
exactly
that."
what Virgil's doing. Yeah, come on, buddy. The clock is ticking.
I got Virgil's Georgics out of the library. It's about farming. He was a practical man, you know.
Oh, Virgil was a practical man. Hmm.
Uh-huh. That's what it looks like. I
Yeah,
started to read it. It's all about what a farmer does,
yeah.
his
He was
toil and
not a
his
dawdler like Dante.
No, Virgil's.
couldn't do it. Yeah.
That's true. Virgil's definitely punching a time clock.
No.
Okay, but anyway, I mean, we have it very clear right there. But Virgil says to Dante, "Leave him, Odorisi, and onward pass. For here 'tis good that with sail and oars as much as may be, each push on his mark." And then number seven is very interesting as well. So right after Virgil says that, then Dante writes, "Upright as walking wills it, I redressed my person."
Yeah.
notwithstanding that my thoughts remained within me downcast and abashed.
Wonder
Doesn't mean
if
he lifted up his head and looked around him whilst feeling pretty rotten inside.
Well, he's feeling, I think he's feeling bad for Odorisi and the other folks who are burdened.
Hmm.
Sylvia, I think you read the phrase walking Windsor in line 7. I drew myself again to the position required for walking. Does your line say walking Windsor?
Walking Windsor?
Probably
Will,
not.
Will. Walking wills it.
Oh, walking Wills. Oh, yeah.
Walking what?
Walking
As
Wills.
Will.
walking wills it.
Oh, Wills it. Oh, okay. It wasn't Windsor. Thank
No.
you.
I wonder.
It sounds like it's some kind of a walking coat or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I
With
think the
walking
idea
Windsor.
is that when you're walking, you are looking ahead.
Sure. Required for walking is the line coming down. I just thought I heard the word Windsor and wondering what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
heck.
yeah. Well, you're walking upright with your head upright if you've got good posture.
Like a king, but that he was
Yeah,
later in
yeah.
the history.
Yeah, that's right. This is anticipating a few centuries there.
I
Mhm.
wonder if it would.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say. Actually, it's a comment addressed to you, Des. I'm wondering if we should revert to form and get Des, who's at his next reader, to read the first 15 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, can do.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Abreast, like oxen going in a yoke, I, with that heavy laden soul, went on as long as the sweet pedagogue permitted. But when he said, "Leave him and onward pass, for here 'tis good that with the sail and oars as much as may be, each push on his bark," upright, as walking wills it, I redressed my person, notwithstanding that my thoughts remained within me downcast and abashed. I had moved on and followed willingly the footsteps of my master, and we both already showed how light of foot we were. When unto me he said, "Cast down thine eyes. 'Twere well for thee to alleviate the way, to look upon the bed beneath thy feet." Hmm.
It's so
That's
interesting
interesting.
to me because learning about history is very calming relative to looking at contemporary horror.
Hmm. I need to point out that our own group Virgil here, our pedagogue, uh, actually just did an analogous thing
Yeah.
when Dave suggested that instead of ambling on in our conversation, that we go back and have someone read the first 15 lines.
You're right.
So you're comparing me to Virgil after I just
Just
criticized
for the moment, just
for
for the
being a
moment.
spoil sport.
Don't, I don't want to, since we are in the section on pride, I don't want to overdo it.
Okay,
But there is a parallelism going on.
that's quite funny.
Once a teacher, always a teacher.
I think so. I think so.
Sweet pedagogue.
Yeah.
But it's interesting here because we have verse Virgil tells him, hey, stop looking down and look ahead. So Dante straightens up. He dresses himself, as they say, And then after a very few verses, then Virgil tells him to look down.
Because to see the sculptures of
To see the sculpture, yes, yes, but I'm just pointing out that, Virgil's really on task here, getting Dante to,
Yeah.
follow his instructions.
Maybe if he was feeling pretty miserable about his the other people earlier on in this, he he was sort of bowed down a bit, and Virgil told him to square his shoulders, stand upright,
Mm-hmm.
but he still needs to look down and see where he's going.
That too, yeah.
There are several places where Virgil seems concerned about Dante's getting the full experience. Are there places in the Inferno where he says you want to be courteous to these people who are coming, or there's somewhere right when Virgil is negotiating with the monster Geryon to bring them down, he tells Virgil, "Go look over there." And there's probably other places that I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But one of, in addition to getting Virgil through this, he does seem concerned with um, broadening Virgil's awareness of things.
You mean you're talking about Virgil
Dante,
Virgil.
yeah, broadening
in
Right,
Dante's
Virgil
awareness.
instructing Dante, right?
Yeah,
right,
Yeah,
right, 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 right.
yeah,
Well, Virgil is first of all, Virgil is much more aware of the time element than Dante is.
yeah.
right.
Dante has a tendency to lollygag, as we say in Texas.
But then again, Dante is probably the perfect guide because he is what did it, well, I can't get the phrase, but he uh, he has no benefit from this. He cannot get into heaven
You
because
mean
he's not baptized.
Virgil is, you said
Virgil,
Virgil is the perfect guide.
yes, Virgil. Sorry, he can't get into heaven, so he's completely objective about everything that goes on. He has no benefits from this at all, other than doing something good for Dante.
Well, he gets a nice long walk out of limbo.
He does,
And,
but I mean, Dez's point is he's got no dog in the fight like these other people do, and I agree.
and
Hmm.
he's taken Dante to this classics and Bible realm. He's led him there in this canto. It's kind of beautiful.
What is Dante's purpose in bringing in all these characters?
I think that he's like Joyce. Um, it's like about everything, like what's the way to put it? Like Joyce tries to put everything into the wake.
Well, I think that Virgil is to Dante as Dante is to us.
Sure. Hmm.
I have to really, I have to say, a lot of these, I mean, just having read through this with everyone else here just now, the whole thing, the illusions there to me, I mean, if they're all examples of pride, uh, they are, I think, obscure illusions, or they're, uh, they're obscure lessons about pride. I'm not sure that reading, I've got some familiarity with classics and a bit of with the Bible, but I have to say that some of these are so obscure that there must be some very remote aspect or some very sort of overlooked passage or some detail that is missing there. So it's almost like he wants to draw our attention to these. He somehow grasped these are lessons about pride, which he wants to
Mhm.
to teach us.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the Italian word for pride is in the Italian. I don't suppose it's
It is
handy.
orgoglio, orgoglio,
Say
Orgoglio?
that again slowly, Dicio.
orgoglio, orgoglio.
Bergoglio.
Orgullo.
Yeah.
Because I really think it's too limited a definition, like we're done with pride. I think pride goes all the way through purgatory, every step,
Hmm.
which is a whole. So I think there's more to it than just
Well,
the word
yeah,
pride
pride
that we
pride is
settle
the
on.
basic sin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the basic sin for
It's
every,
for
yeah,
every all the other sins.
right. So the souls in Canto 11, there's more to it than just pride. There's something about their pride that makes them, well, of course, they're unrepentant. That's the difference. I think I just answered my question.
Hmm.
They haven't figured out that they need to repent yet, that they need to
Orgoglio,
give up their pride.
orgoglio in Italian with Glio in the end.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was just looking at that and was just going to put that together.
G-L what?
I-O, orgoglio,
There we go.
Glio.
at the end, not L-A-L,
There we
double.
go. It's a look in the chat.
Here it is. I see it.
Or Goglio.
Or
Mhm.
Goglio.
But you pronounce orgoglio. Yeah. The GL is L, just L.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just GLO. It's not GLIO.
I-O, I-O.
Elio.
It's spelled that way.
Orgoglio,
Yeah, I thought you
orgoglio.
just spelled GLO, but pronounced
Portuguese
LIO.
is Portuguese is the same, orgulho. We
Yeah,
have a
okay.
instead of O, we have a U,
Okay.
orgulho, and
Okay.
LH, LH.
Okay. What should we read on?
Thank you.
Well, it seems to me that the thing of the carving of the images in the stone is because pride is such a huge subject, and because if we use human examples, living or kind of living human examples, Dante will get caught up in their story. That by having the examples carved in rock, it makes it easier to cover a lot more space or a lot more examples without getting caught up in conversation.
Yeah, that's kind of what.
Also, possibly that whatever is written in stone is pretty permanent and embedded, whatever the sin of pride was.
Hmm.
Correct. As opposed to the living or human inhabitants of the cornice who are moving on. Is that it? There's this contrast between the permanence of those images of the proud versus the folks who are there kind of expiating the sin on a temporary basis.
Yeah, pretty much, yes, yeah.
Well, it's also maybe drawing attention to the fact that all these examples too are of from a pre-Christian era. And so presumably these are also characters and let's say who are if they're anywhere, they're going to be in limbo or the inferno. So they're not going to be in purgatory. There was no purgatory before Christ opened the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's. I thank you, Minnesota John. I had
yeah,
not clued in there. They are all pre-Christian. I hadn't thought about that.
sure.
I'm
Right,
wondering
and
if it's
all his colleagues in limbo,
yeah,
all
No,
his, yeah,
All
what a
these
good
all these
thought.
people, like Virgil, none of them were baptized.
right,
Right.
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 So they're carved in stone.
I wonder if it's worth reading our way to it.
Hint, hint. Yes.
We
Why
could try
not?
that.
Are you
Yeah.
drawing us back to the facts again there, Mr. Dave?
Just call me Virgil.
Okay. It's your turn,
Better
Duncan.
watch out.
Your
We
turn,
might
Duncan,
from
at
now
line
on.
16.
Line 16.
Yeah,
Thank you
take
very
us
much.
there, buddy. Take us there.
Okay. As that some memory may exist to them, above the buried dead, their tombs in earth bear
Mhm.
sculptured on them what they were before. Whence often there we weep for them afresh, from pricking of remembrance, which alone to the compassionate does set its spur. So I saw there, but of a better semblance, in port of artifice, with figures covered whate'er as pathway from the mount projects. I saw that one who was created noble, more than all other creatures down from heaven, flaming with lightnings, fall upon one side. I'm going to read that again. I saw that one who was created noble, more than all other creatures down from heaven, flaming with lightnings, fall upon one side. What does that mean?
I
Sounds
think
like
that's
sounds like
Lucifer.
Icarus.
Lucifer. I was
Lucifer.
going to say that's
Lucifer.
the sometimes all called the morning star, although I always thought
Correct.
that
No,
referred
no,
to
it's Lucifer.
yeah,
It was
Lucifer.
Ah,
a
Cast into
beautiful
cast into
angel.
hell. Yeah.
Was a beautiful angel, but he was against God and something like that, and so he was pulled down to the
from
he
Okay,
the
so that's the
peak of
first and
heaven.
that's the first
the
figure
war
that
of
he
the
sees.
Titans, the war of the Titans,
Yeah.
Titans.
Titans. Yeah,
Okay. So that's the first carving then, right?
yeah.
Right.
That seems to be,
Lucifer.
yeah.
Lucifer. Yeah.
Although I don't believe that's ever in the Bible anyplace. I don't think unless it's in the book of Revelation.
Um,
Um,
my note, and John, Mr. Minnesota, I do not
yeah.
wish to take credit for remembering this, but my note says, "I beheld Satan fall as lightning from heaven," and it's Luke 10:18. Had it not been in my footnote, I
Luke
wouldn't have noticed
10:18. I
this.
saw Lucifer fall from heaven.
I beheld Satan fall as lightning from heaven, and that's
Oh
Luke
yes, actually yes. Okay.
Luke 10:18. Let
Yeah.
Yeah.
me carry on with the discussion. I'm going to go get my King Jimmy Bible and see how it's rendered there, whether
Yeah.
it's
I,
Satan or
I've
Lucifer.
got that as well,
Okay.
Dave. In my and I've got um a reference Lucifer, whose rebellion against God was the first and greatest act of pride, punished when he was cast down into hell, the center of the earth. And that's the Inferno 34, line 34 to 37.
No. So that's no.
It's Satan in the Latin, the Vulgate.
It is. Okay, I'm just going to check the King Jimmy here and
Mhm.
see what we got. Um,
What's the reference, please?
Luke 10:18.
Thank you.
That's the Jesus is talking to the 70 returning from being set out to the disciples. He says, I watched Satan fall from heaven like a flash of lightning.
Right.
So I have given you authority to tread on snakes and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing will hurt you.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
The King James has got him as Satan as well. I'll look at the New Revised Standard Version as well, but
Yeah. The New Jerusalem Bible has Satan again.
okay. So we're getting it from the Catholics too.
Yeah.
But those are all newer translations of the Bible than the one Dante. Um,
Yes, and this Jerusalem Bible was they went back and did about 20 years research, and it was originally in French. They did it all in French, and that was translated into English, which is what I have here. That would have been in the 60s.
what, the 60s? What?
1960.
1960s.
I have,
19?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about the Bible that Dante read
Well, he would have had a
in
Latin.
13.
He would have
Pardon?
he would have had a Latin Bible, so I'd have
Probably the Vulgate.
the Latin
Latin
Vulgate.
or
Would be
Greek,
that,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever he had would have been that, and so
Well, that's an interesting. Did Dante read the Latin Bible?
Seems likely, doesn't it?
I don't know. I don't know how closely guarded. I don't know how close the priesthood guarded their Bibles.
hmm.
Were educated people in Dante's time allowed to read the Latin Bible on their own?
I don't know.
Well, I think he must have, or where would he have gotten his knowledge?
Right. He knows quite a bit about the Bible, I'd say.
Right. The question is, does he know it from commentaries or does he know it from the Bible?
Well,
Cleveland John, I put the Vulgate into the chat. So that's Luke 10:18 from the Vulgate, according to the internet. But it's Satan there as well, not Lucifer, as you can see.
yeah.
Oh,
It's probably a question we can search for. How did Dante get his knowledge of the Bible?
Right.
Maybe just by going to church. Maybe the priests.
My understanding was that, which is not just things picked up here and there, was that the I don't think that the church forbade any person from reading the Bible, but all the Bibles were all written in Latin. So and most of the common people just didn't know Latin or know how to read. And
Yeah.
so it's more like they never encouraged it, but I don't think they ever forbade or prohibited anybody who was learned and knew how to read, especially Latin, from doing so. So I think if you had enough interest, you could probably maybe they would encourage somebody like a reader and a learned person like Dante. Maybe he was an altar boy for a while. I don't know. And then he was able to and gain the trust of the priests and to have be allowed to read some of the Latin Bibles that were there in their possession.
Yeah.
I'm answering my own question, and it looks like educated people who could read Latin could read the Bible.
So
But
the
most people
educated.
could not read Latin, so they couldn't read the Bible.
That's it. It's exactly right. Yeah.
So,
Minnesota John, just to pick up on a point that you made about 10 minutes ago, and this is a genuinely question for me, not a
Yeah.
statement. I wonder if the passages which we're about to look at from classical literature and from the Bible are obscure to us because we now live in kind of a post-biblical, I guess, post-classical age. But would they have been as obscure to Dante's contemporary audience? And I do not know the answer, but I put it out as a question.
Yeah. Well, I was in my mind when I said it because I've just noticed, well, just in general. I mean, I studied Greek in college and Latin, and I was a classics minor, and I think my understanding from reading some things, and actually a lot of things since then, is that, for example, even for example, educated people in the 19th century, especially in in the British Isles and so forth, were all very deeply immersed in biblical and Latin classical culture, and they knew about a lot of details and insinuations, implications of some very detailed readings and close readings of the Bible. Um, and they studied this very, very closely. And so, you know, um, I guess I can't think of, well, one example that comes to me is I've read some books here I read a book a few years ago called The Marriage of Cadmus and Harmony. Now, I can't even remember what the book was about anymore. It was a modern book, but it was written by somebody who was also had studied classical literature and had this whole explanation about the meaning of this in some way. And but there's some obviously an origination in classical literature with that. And I'm thinking too, I ran across somebody else who was a famous like a person named Jabez. Now, the word Jabez or the name Jabez, people were named after biblical characters in the 18th, 19th century, or going many centuries before in England, and so people would pick up on these biblical names and they would throw them on. So that's what I'm thinking of here is that I think you're absolutely right. So we are very Bible illiterate or classics illiterate, especially society, and nobody pays much attention to the stuff. And somebody who has even almost like a superficial knowledge, like me, seems to be, somebody who really knows about it. But I mean, I've got nothing on some of the people who've written volumes and tomes on some of these subjects. So,
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff that Dante has, he's gotten from uh, the Greek mythology, from Virgil, mainly Ovid, Lucan, and Statius. And right, we met Ovid and Lucan back in Limbo, and we're going to meet Statius a little bit later in Purgatory, although I don't for the life of me know what he's doing there. But Dante would not have firsthand knowledge of Greek literature. It would all have to come through Latin sources.
I have a note here on the Vulgate. It's a late 4th century Latin. What's happened here?
I think translated by St.
Sorry,
Jerome.
yes.
Is that correct?
Beg your pardon. Sorry, the Vulgate is a late 4th century Latin translation of the Bible. It's largely the work of St. Jerome, who in 382 had been commissioned by Pope Damascus I to revise the Vetus Latina Gospels used by the Roman Church. And those Vetus Latina were the old Latin, pre-Vulgate stuff. So they would have been practically unintelligible to us, not even to Latin scholars. It's just a point of reference.
John,
So I presume Dante would have been pretty well versed in the Bible, since the church there was nothing but the Bible.
right. Yeah.
And even at that stage, the Old Testament had been almost discarded by the Catholic Church, by the Catholics as such.
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah.
So these were people that not everybody would know who they were, and certainly as far as John was saying, the Greek mythical creatures would have been quite unknown to very, very, very few people would have known what the hell they were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in the In the 14th century, the main readers were Thomas Aquinas, John Duns Scotus, William of Ockham, and mendicating orders, major readers, the Franciscans and Dominicans. And the vernacular Bible reading begins for the first time. Some lay people read parts of the Bible in their own language. In England, Wycliffe Bible. In Italy, Tuscan Bible paraphrase. France and Germany, psalters and gospel harmonies. So just the nuns and the monks use it to read the Bible, and the clergy, mostly the clergy.
Is any ceremonies would have been totally in Latin?
The Bible was in Latin always.
Yeah.
It took many years.
All religious ceremonies would have been held through Latin.
Yeah, and the copy of the Bible took many years to be done by the monks. You can see it in the book of the name of the rose by the name of the rose of what's the name?
Umberto Eco.
Yes,
Umberto.
Umberto Eco. One thing that I find extremely interesting is that the first person or spirit mentioned is Lucifer, and to me it brings up the interesting question, which is I would say obviously, although we don't think about it very much, Lucifer was before the Greek mythological characters.
Yeah, because it's the beginning of the Bible.
Because he's at the beginning of creation, right?
Yeah, the creation. So there is for the Greeks is the war of the Titans. For the Catholic Church is the fall of the angels. No, the angels.
Right. But
Lucifer was the nicest of the angels.
But I assume that a Christian point of view would be that although the Greeks did not realize it, that the creation of the earth and the fall of Lucifer came before
Lucifer
Zeus
before
and
the Greek mythology, because in the Greek mythology we have Briaro, the next one, Briaro, and
Briareus.
Breoro, so on.
Is the fall of Lucifer in Genesis?
No,
No, it's not in Genesis. No.
no, it's Jesus that refers to this as having seen, which is a kind of an indirect way of saying, I was at the beginning. This is an indirect way of saying, I was God and I saw Lucifer fall from heaven or Satan fall from heaven. So he's telling his disciples who he is. And and even the book of Revelations, I was saying it's not, there's nothing quite like that in the book of Revelation. Even though is all kinds of things about wars and whatnot here, and almost a resurrection in a way of demonic characters, but this is in the revelations of things to come in this particular New Testament book.
Yeah, the snake. I'm trying to fit the snake into the story.
Yeah, there's a lake of fire. Yeah, there's a lake of fire. And so in a way, I guess if we're familiar with Milton, Milton seems to have kind of like merged those two together and created his own idea of hell, with the kind of conflating the idea of Lucifer being thrown into hell and then also becoming like this serpent, a serpent-like character in this lake of fire, which is alluded to in the book of Revelation. So it's confusing, but it's very poetic.
Hmm. In the book of Job, that Satan character, where does he come from?
And
I
he's
mean,
kind of a he's a little bit of a maybe a troublemaker, but he's not like a demonic evil character. He's
he's
an
just a
almost like
rascal.
he's called the advocate in a way. He's like an advocate,
Okay, yeah, the
referred to
Yeah,
as
he
advocate.
was like a friend or
friend of God. Yes.
and a friend of Job. You know, he was trying to help Job even though he was wrong.
Well,
No, Satan was not trying to help. I mean,
no,
the adversary, my reading of the book of Job is he wasn't trying to help Job at all.
that's right. Yeah,
He was actually just trying to
Right, that's true. Yeah.
rile God up
Yeah,
and
he was
point out
challenging.
God,
Yeah.
where he was not
yeah.
Yeah, right,
quite on the
right.
up and up.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
Sorry.
rage.
Yeah.
But okay, so I just want to clarify. So, John the Younger, you were saying that the first mention of Lucifer in the literature is not until the New Testament?
Well, Lucifer by that name is not in any of the translations of the Bible I've ever read in the Old Testament, and I don't even think in the New Testament is that name used. But I was suggesting that Milton's version uh, of hell, Paradise Lost, is based upon taking this image, I think, of Lucifer, of Satan being thrown into hell, cast out of heaven, and there is an image of this serpent in this fiery lake in Book of Revelation, and that's pretty late. So there's
That's
that's
very
as close as
late.
it comes, but that I don't think that serpent is even given a name, and
Oh.
so
A reference here that on Lucifer, I was asked AI where it comes from.
Hmm.
He quotes Isaiah and Ezekiel. Now, I have them down as about the 8th and the 6th centuries BCE.
Huh. Well, my AI says Lucifer was introduced in literature as a character in the first century epic poem Metamorphoses by the Roman poet
Ovid.
Ovid, where he is personified as the morning star. The character gained further prominence in Christian literature, notably in John Milton's Paradise Lost, published in 1667, which redefined Lucifer as a fallen angel and the antagonist of God, which is very interesting considering that Dante makes it very clear that he has a Luciferian character in the Inferno, written in 13 what, oh nine or something like that.
There are references in Luke 10:18. I saw said Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Revelations 12, the fall of the dragon. Ezekiel, you say? 28, Ezekiel 28, originally about the king of Tyre. Became by the 4th and 5th centuries, Lucifer became a name for Satan before his fall. And so Dante puts him in the bottom of the inferno, in the middle of the iced lake.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think there's also allusions to sort of things of all these different prophecies, like a Daniel. They all kind of are repeated in the Book of Revelation and Ezekiel and so forth. There's some variations of them are kind of like are almost like referred to. Uh, so
Lucifer, why the Lucifer is also the light bearer or the morning star?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
which is
Because
different because
Luce in
yeah,
Italian is light. Luce, Lucifer, Luce,
yeah.
Luce is light. Luce.
Well, that it strikes me as like the morning star is also referred to in many Christian things as being representing Christ, which
But
is
the
very
morning star is Venus.
yeah. But the morning stars, it's translated. The morning star is how it's referred to. The morning star is a symbol
Venus,
of Christ.
Venus, Venus.
Oh,
Planet
okay.
Venus.
Well, let me bring this in. Zoroasterism is one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, founded in ancient Persia by the prophet Zoroaster or Zarathustra around the 6th century BCE, and emphasizes the eternal struggle between good and evil.
So here's Revelation 22:16. It is I, Jesus, who sent my angel to you with this testimony for the churches. I am the root and the descendant of David, the bright morning star. And I think Isaiah refers to the bright morning star, and that's, I think, been interpreted as being the coming of Christ.
Also, I mean, it does behoove us to think in terms of other religions here. And I
Yes.
believe that Shiva would be the representative of the devil, although in Indian cosmology, it's not. He's really not a devil. He is part of the whole thing. You have Brahma, you have Shiva, and I can't remember the third one. I bet you Sheila knows. Who am I forgetting, Sheila?
Krishna?
Krishna, yeah.
No, Krishna was kind of a minor. It's the
Shiva,
three big ones.
Brahma.
The Brahma is the substrate for everything. And then Shiva is that which destroys. And then there's a third one. But the point being, I mean, going back to Upanishads, that's way back where. That's an interesting question. I hope you don't mind me dawdling on this question, but where did
No.
the devil come from?
Where the devil did he come from?
Trimurti.
And the Greek
Trimurti.
gods, it's like they're all demons, the gods and the goddesses.
Vishnu,
There you go.
Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva.
Shiva is generally taken as a destroyer and is often depicted in a circle of fire.
Mm-hmm.
But the purpose of the fire is to renew, destroy, and renew. And that is, unfortunately, that aspect of Shiva is generally forgotten.
Yeah. But I mean, the only point that I'm trying to make there is that they did have a negative destroyer cosmic figure, both in Zoroastrianism and in Hinduism, quite early.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Gosh, yes.
Mr. Little is being strangely quiet right now.
I was thinking
What about moving on to from Satan to Briareus? and celestial. Now that's an illusion I have no clue about. So maybe John, you could throw some light upon that.
On Reus.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's his second appearance, isn't it, John? Cleveland John. We've seen this boy before, haven't we?
I think we did somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a giant. Uh, I think he would have been the son of Uranus and Earth, Gaia. And anyway, the giants went to war with the gods, and of course were defeated. And in line 31, he mentions three of the gods. Thymbrius is Apollo, and Pallas is Athena, or in Latin, in Roman uh, uh, view, Minerva, and then Mars. So he just mentions three of the gods who carried out the war against the giants. And I think he probably would have gotten Briareus from Virgil. There's a mention of Briareus in the Aeneid.
Now so now Dante then weaves in the next tercet with Nimrod, who, as if to be almost like, I don't think this is biblical necessarily, but I don't think it is at all, but as if Nimrod was like one of the giants, as if
No, Nimrod was a king of Babylon.
yeah, he was
He idealized the construction of the Babel Tower.
yes,
Right.
yes,
Tower of
yes.
Babel.
He was the great hunter. He was one of the descendants of Noah. Um, so he's looking at the people who had been proud with him in Sennaar. I guess Sennaar was one of the cities that he founded. He was one of the founders of great cities.
Is Shinar Babylon?
It might be. The
I
Bible
think
here,
it's the same.
yeah, I think it's the same. Yeah,
around, close by.
yeah. It's spelled in my Bible here. It spells it Shinar, Shinar. So I think that's the same thing.
But before we go there, we have before we go to Nimrod, we have Thymbraeus, which apparently is another name for Apollo,
Oh,
Yeah,
according to
yeah, it
Holland.
is. Yeah, it is.
So
And their father is who? The
Um,
father,
Jupiter.
Jupiter. Okay.
Yeah, often in Greek and in Latin literature, the gods are referred to um, with an adjectival form of a place where there was a well-known temple to that god. So, like Venus is often called Cypria.
Okay, Cypria being a place with a temple.
Yeah,
And so you're implying that Thymbraeus was a place
yeah. There's a place,
with a temple to
probably
Apollo.
Thimbra is the name of the place.
Is Venus not called the Cyprian because she rose from foam on
Yeah,
the shores of Cyprus?
in the water near Cyprus. Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. Briareus is mentioned in the Inferno, 31, line 99. And I don't know if it's a reference to him or if he's one of the inhabitants there. I didn't have time to go into it too deeply.
Then we have Niobe, the wife of Amphione.
We have who?
I have a note about Briareus from the Inferno. Another of the giants who rose against the Olympian gods. Virgil speaks of him as having 100 arms and 50 hands, but Dante has need only of his size and of his sin, which he seems to view as a kind of revolt of the angels.
Right.
So we have a Greek mythology and Catholic mythology.
Yeah.
Our religion is also our religion. Religion, Catholic religion is also mythology.
He goes back and forth here between classical and Hebrew scriptures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
they alternate in this whole section.
And Niobe was from the Greek mythology. She had 14 sons, and he defied Latona, mother of Apollo. So they were all killed. These 14 sons. Apollo and Diana killed all these 14 sons.
Mm. So these are all examples of great pride.
Mm-hmm.
She was very proud of her 14 sons. But Latona, Latona has only one. His son was Apollo. Apollo, no, two sons, Apollo and Biana. So Latona didn't like and so killed all the 14 sons of Niobe.
Mm.
So Niobe was very proud of his 14 sons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Her 14 sons, sorry about.
So
And then we have Arachne.
Mm-hmm.
He used it to do tissue in Lydia and defied Minerva. So Minerva transformed her in a spider. I can show it.
uh,
Yeah, she said
So,
she could outweave Minerva, and
can
oh,
see,
so she got
giant
turned into a
spider.
creature who
Oh,
weaves.
Hmm.
a very nice decio.
Yeah.
can you see it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see it. What is it a picture of now? Of
that's the spider,
Oh,
Yes,
she's
fine.
Arachne.
okay.
Arachne.
Arachne, we say aranha in Portuguese.
Yeah.
Arachne, aranha, and you say
Spider.
spider.
Yeah.
Because
That's the Latin name for the
Celtic.
genus of spiders.
This is
Spiders are
the
known as
art.
the genus of arachnids. Interesting.
The artist is who, Decio?
I know the artist is, I know, I always forget.
Me too.
I know I have all the Divine Comedy by him is, it's a French guy. I don't remember.
Dore.
Maybe one of
Gustave
his.
Doré. Gustave Doré. Gustave Doré.
Oh, Gustave Doré. Yeah.
Dore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But anyway, considering the time here, so basically these are all examples of pride carved in the path or on the wall.
And pride that was punished.
Yeah.
Pride that was punished. Okay.
So we have Saul,
So, yeah.
King of
Yeah.
Israel. he murdered himself.
Yeah. He was caught in battle and he fell on his sword. And he was
Yeah.
killed with his
Mhm.
sword
Mhm.
bearer. Kind
Mhm.
of. He was trapped by the Philistines. So I guess that's his punishment.
And also Roboam, son of Solomon. Solomon.
Yeah, he was one of the bad kings, I think.
Yeah, yeah, he
um,
started sinning, I think, right away.
Was he? Yeah.
Sennacherib, king of Assyria, also was killed by his sons. And we have Tamiris, queen of Marset, Queen Regina.
So our next meeting,
Yeah.
do we start at line 46?
No, you know what? Could I suggest, you guys, this is why you're going to dislike me. Can we go back to 28? Because according to Sayers here, it's divided, the engravings are divided into groups of three. And we've
Okay.
kind of sort of sampled some, but not others. We've just kind
Right.
of cherry picked a bit. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if we could go back to 28 and move through it kind of line by line, because there are some people
Mhm.
we haven't really talked about much. And then I can explain as well what Sayer's argument is about how these are grouped into three. And I don't know if your translations have it, but here mine um, begin with very large capital letters as well
Mm-hmm.
to denote the groups. And so she says something about the translation as well. I mean, if that would be interesting, we could start at 28. If not, we would just
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Sure.
we have these two. Next Wednesday is Christmas Eve.
right.
And
So,
then New Year's Eve the following week.
and then New Year's Eve the following.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
So are you suggesting that we kind of call it a day for 2025?
I'm suggesting that
I
we
think
should
so.
consider whether we call it a day. I don't know what to do. I mean, lots of people. I mean, how many people here would meet on Christmas Eve?
yeah,
Didi, Sheila, you already said you're going off,
right.
right? Yeah.
I won't.
Speak up.
I say I won't be here on Christmas Eve. I've already kind of occupied that day pretty much. New
Okay.
Year's Eve is a possibility, I guess, if there are other people. But I'd be very happy with putting this off until January, the next week in January, first week in
Yeah,
January.
so that'll be like January the 8th.
Yeah.
The 7th.
7th.
7th. Okay,
Let's
well,
get
the
the calendar
Wednesday,
here.
the first. Okay, well, let's just do that.
Okay. I'm good with that.
And if
Okay.
anybody wants to do a side topic on either of those weeks, just let me know. I'm probably available.
Okay.
Um,
Thanks.
Yeah, I would
This
do
has been great.
New Year's Eve.
hmm,
I would be here New Year's Eve on Zoom.
you would be here New Year's Eve?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. All right. Will I be here New Year's Eve on Zoom? Probably.
let's see.
Probably. I'm probably just going to be lounging around.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm good at lounging.
I would like to be here, but I can't say that I will be.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
So am I hearing you say that on the 7th of January we'll pick it up formally at line 28, but that if some people want to tune in on New Year's Eve and have kind of an informal going over, that you might be available? Give it a try.
Hmm.
Yeah, if anybody wants to meet, just let me know. I can easily just,
I think we
Okay.
should back it up
click.
to 25.
Okay.
That's where the
All right.
representations begin.
All
Yeah.
right.
I
Okay.
agree with that. Yeah.
I got it marked 25. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right, but
All right.
we're done for the day, done for the year, it sounds
right.
like, unless we have an informal session.
Right.
On
Don't see you again.
New Year's Eve.
Happy Christmas to all.
Happy
Yeah,
Christmas, Happy
likewise.
New Year.
Happy Christmas, Happy New
Yeah.
Year to everybody. Okay.
I'm
Bye.
more of a
Christmas and
solstice
Happy New
type
Year
of
to all.
guy.
Yes. Have a
Bye
good one.
bye. See you next year.
See you
All
next
right,
year. Right.
onward. Thank